Hello campers, not done a video in a couple of weeks, well, I don't know actually, about 3. Thought I should get my arse in gear. You know, I've been hankering after making a video. I try and avoid making the pickups video, so I thought when Woodlin did his, you know, the not so fat bastard Woodlin did his, what was it? Not top 10. It was sort of 10 random questions video. Oh well, yeah, that's within my abilities. So nice and easy. Although you know, I have sort of applied a bit too much thought to it. Then I don't think that's really the idea, is it? I just sort of like, you know, because it's favourites. I think they're all favourites. So it's favourite stuff, and I was actually recently, I was just talking about this with my mum, my sister. Whether you like it or not, you've got favourites of you know, anything in life. You have a favourite. Like people with kids, whether you like it or not, there's one you like slightly more than the others. I don't have kids. I've got 3 cats. One of them I can't stand. The other one gets on my nerves. The last one's tolerable, so she's my favourite. But you know, it's undeniable. Just be honest with yourself. You do. You have favourites. Anything. People say they don't have favourites for things. They're lying. Things you naturally gravitate towards. You know, it doesn't have to be something you obsess over, but it's something that if you're given a choice of picking between 2 things, you'd go for that one. And that's your favourite. You know, it's subconscious. So there's just a list of 10 questions, and you know, I've tried to be honest. Some of them, the answers are really boring, but it's like, for instance, like judging by my videos, it might look like I've only got like 3 shirts. I've got more than 3 shirts. I've just got favourites. It's like I've got favourite pairs of pants, or if you know, if you're in America, shorts. Not pants as in trousers. Although I do have favourite pairs of jeans, and some I tend to wear them some more than others. You know, and some get neglected. You know, and when I talk about, you know, having like favourite kids, I'm not saying that people neglect one child over the other. I'm going to stop talking, otherwise it might, you know. First question: favourite film? It's a film called Swingers. Not a film that gets spoken about a lot, but it's just one of my favourites. It's a film I could watch over and over and over again. It's about this guy who lives in LA. It's from the 90s. It's made by Doug Liman, who made, I think it was the first Bourne film, Bourne Identity. But it's nothing like that. Stylistically, it's nothing like that at all. And I think he went on to make School of Rock. No, he didn't. That's someone totally different. Or did he? No, someone totally different. I'm getting confused. But no, it's Swingers. He's an actor stroke comedian living in LA, out of work, been in, sort of broken up from a long term relationship, sort of 6 months previously, and it's about him and his mates and what they do. You know, it's about going out and going to parties and stuff and playing video games. And there's truth in it. That's why I like it so much. There's a lot of truth in it. It spawned the term "you're so money you don't even know it," which has gone beyond. This is quite a small film, but it's actually quite influential in that sense. And I think, I might be wrong, I don't know if it came before it, but I think it spawned the term "Vegas baby, Vegas," which a lot of people know. You know, Vegas baby, you know. But it's a brilliant film called Swingers. It's got a good cast. It's got John Favreau and Vince Vaughn and Heather Graham in it. She's got a small part, and a couple of other people. But it's brilliant. And they play NHLPA hockey, and they have this whole conversation about why they got rid of the fighting in this one version of the game. And they play on their Genesis, so which has got truth. You know, it's like proper sort of banter. It's like lads banter. And, you know, it's true. You know, it's really good, really good. It's called Swingers. Although you know, it was difficult for me to pick a favourite. But then again, so that goes against what I was saying at the beginning of the video. But oh well. Favourite colour? That'd have to be blue. Navy blue. I naturally gravitate towards navy blue more than anything. I don't know what that says about me psychologically. I mean, Freudian. You know, it's quite Freudian. How you gravitate towards certain colours. You know, and it probably says something quite a lot about me. But navy blue. Favourite song. A song called All My Friends by the best band that ever were. They're called LCD Soundsystem. They're no longer around because they broke up. I think it was in 2011, 2012. There's a really good sort of like, it's a film stroke documentary about their last ever gig in Madison Square Gardens. It's brilliant. It's called Shut Up and Play the Hits. But All My Friends is probably my favourite of their song. It's a long song. They're sort of like electro. I'd say electro funk punk as a band. They've got this sort of their music's a lot of layered rhythms and really melodic. But he's got a brilliant. He's really good at writing, like songwriting, like lyrics. He's a really good lyricist as well. James Murphy, his name is. Doesn't look anything like a rock star, but he's just incredibly talented. And it's about sort of layered driving rhythms, and the songs build, and all my friends just, it starts off and it sort of builds and builds and builds, and it's almost like sort of gets to this point where it steadily though, it sort of creeps up on you, and it's about a 10-minute song. By the end you're just sort of really like bought into it. It's really sort of whipped you up, and you're just sort of feeling the whole thing. It's just all encompassing. And it's lots of sort of bleeps and sort of squelches, but it's melodic. It's not just random. You know, there's melodies over the top. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's called All My Friends by LCD Soundsystem. Favourite actor / actress of I'm going to do both really. My favourite actor is Paddy Considine. If I remember, of anything that I mention, I'm going to leave links to videos in the description box. Paddy Considine is just so versatile. He's a brilliant actor. Just you know him as I can't remember the character's name, but he's in Dead Man's Shoes. He plays the brother who comes back to wreak vengeance on the low life criminals. But he's done so much other stuff, mainly with Shane Meadows. He's like the equivalent of De Niro to Scorsese. Shane Meadows or Paddy Considine's like Shane Meadows is De Niro, if that makes sense. He's so versatile. In a Room for Romeo Brass, he plays a totally different sort of character. The same sort of edge and same sort of menace, but it's sort of pathetic. I'll leave a link. There's an interesting sort of. I'll leave a little link to a video below. You'll get a good idea. But then there's a couple of he's got brilliant comedy timing as well. He can play sort of really straight comedy, just proper comedy, or he can just play like a funny character, but play it straight. And there's a video I love. It's called Le Donk. He was Le Donk in Le Donk and Scorsese. But there's a video called Le Donk's Dance Moves, I think. Le Donk's Dance Hits. And it's basically just a little 1-minute video about him sort of like demonstrating these dance moves. It's really funny. Honourable mention to two actresses, Olivia Colman and Vicky McClure. I think they both worked with Paddy Considine. Vicky McClure is another Shane Meadows favourite. Olivia Colman, you might have known her as Sophie in Peep Show. Vicky McClure was Lol in This Is England. And I can't pick between the two because they're both superlative actors, just amazing. You know, totally convincing in anything they do. But number 5 favourite game, Suikoden 2. Which I've spoken about a long time, so I won't go on about that. Favourite drink? This is really boring. I had to be honest with myself. I was trying to work out what it is, but it's something that I naturally gravitate towards. It's really boring. It's tea. I don't obsess over it. I sort of back in about 2000, I lived in Spain just for 3 months, and I was with my 2 friends, and my mate Dan took a load of tea bags with him, and he'd get really angry if he couldn't have a cup of tea, and he was sort of like hanging out these tea bags to save them and reuse. I don't get that obsessed. I'm not that obsessed over it, but it's sort of comforting. It's like a sort of it's like a frame of reference. It's it's what's the word? I can't think, but it's something you sort of return to every day. It's a constant. This cup of tea, it's a constant. It doesn't change. It is what it is, and it's unspectacular. But I can go without it. But I like what it sort of reminds me of. It reminds me of home. Although you can get a bad cup of tea, which is slightly disappointing. But then I'll have to go tea, and this just sort of ties in with that. My favourite snack. I actually crossed out a few. I used to have smoky bacon crisps and flame grilled McCoys. But then I wasn't being honest with myself, and my favourite snack is toast. Done in a very particular way, and I can't deny it. I do try and have at least 2 slices of toast a day. In that sense, I'm a bit obsessive, and if I'm ever out, I will forgo like lunch so that I can come home and have some toast, because it means that much to me. But done in a very particular way. You get 2 slices. One's just butter. One's got Vegemite on it. Cut across the middle. Although I think one day I might just try cutting across the diagonals, a bit of variation. What's life without a bit of danger, so to speak. But it's toast for the same reason as tea and toast. I'm not very interested in this, generally, but in this sense. Favourite channel, number 8. Yeah, number 8. Favourite channel. There's so many people I could pick because sort of I know them personally, but I'm not going to go down that road. I'm going to go someone who I don't know personally, but I just love his videos. He's one of genuinely the funniest person who makes videos, who's sort of part of this community. He's a Bithead1000 over in the US. He doesn't make enough videos, but every single video he makes is brilliant. It's so funny. He's got this sort of anarchic edge, and he'll go and do weird stuff. Like there's one particular just cracked me up when he had a really bad day. He went out going around all the garage sales, and he had a bad day, and I think he lost out on something quite big. Well, something happened, and he pissed him off. So he came home, and he goes, "You know what we do when I'm pissed off?" And he's got this little baby like toy doll, and he's got this tiny little wheelchair, and he put the doll in the wheelchair and tied it to the back of his car and set his camera on the back of his set the camera on the back window of his car, pointing out, and he just drives, just sort of like guns it down this road, and you're sort of, the camera's fixed on this tiny little baby in this toy wheelchair, and as faster he gets, he's like, in the end, it's just a really, really random thing to do, but really funny. And he's obviously got just a really good, sort of genuine, comedy eye for that sort of thing. And then there's a few other videos later on where this baby goes through different sorts of abuse. I think he has a go. I think he sort of shines a magnifying glass on it, and just sort of, at one point, so it like burns and stuff like this, just because he's pissed off. But it's just Bithead1000, and he should make more videos. I like his sort of ramshackle, they sort of half-assed, but self-consciously a bit crappy production values. And there was another one where it was snowing, and because he lives in New York, I think, and he was standing on a big pile of snow, sort of like kicking bits of like big chunks of snow down this pile and into the road. No one around, and then some old woman saw him and goes, "What are you doing?" He had to explain himself. Favourite food? A good curry. Ideally, somewhere like Brick Lane. Go to Brick Lane. I've only ever been once, but it's the best curry I've had. I generally like curry, but I went to Brick Lane and only once. It was the best curry I ever had. It wasn't expensive. It was just like a normal, sort of cheap curry house, but the actual curry was lovely. It was amazing. But but it is actually specifically those sorts of curries. But then again, I've only ever had one. But then I do like. I think there's probably more authentic they are, those ones. But I like the slightly anglicised versions of curries, like the biryanis. I think they're probably invented for us Anglos. I like chicken tikka biryani, where it's it's like rice and chicken, and it's done in not the tandoor, is it a tandoor? No, it's on a skewer, the chicken, and then it comes with a vegetable curry, and then you just sort of pile it all together, and it's just lovely, But I have that quite often. But the actual proper authentic curries I don't have quite so often, like the Brick Lane ones. But there's probably every city in the UK has probably got an area where they actually have all loads of curry houses, and then you probably get the same sort of standard anywhere in the UK. But and it's got to have extras, things like onion bhajis and naans and poppadoms. Yeah. Number 10, favourite console, PS1, because I think it was before it got to the point where it could it allowed the game's creators to do more stuff, but before it got really cynical. I mean, it obviously doesn't do things like FPSs well, but it can do other things. I mean, obviously there are limitations. It's not, but it's not so powerful that it doesn't get so powerful that it's a lot of the games they're like good games. It's what the fuck am I talking about? It's the whole sort of triumph out of adversity thing. There are certain limitations, which means that the games creators have to really concentrate, and they have to be creative, and I think that the games nowadays, they sort of lose that. The later machines, they lose that because there's more money and there's more power and there's more scope to do whatever they like, and so it doesn't concentrate the idea so much. And I think the best game for that would have been Super Mario World by far. But I think the PS1 still has that, but it has the extra power without losing the naivety, so to speak. And it's got some of my favourite games in it, like Suikoden 2. So, and it was the system I had when I sort of became, I was more aware of games. I had like a Mega Drive when I was like a teenager, but I only had a sort of a narrow selection of games because I couldn't afford any. But then on my PS1, there was more choice. There was more sorts of the games did more what I wanted from them, so to speak. There's more scope in things like RPGs. They were bigger, but maybe I didn't play enough RPGs on things like SNES. But anyway, that's it. Because things like SNES and Mega Drive was quite limited for us over in the power regions. But 17 minutes, 18 minutes. Yeah, that's me done. So I won't leave you any longer. That was my top 10 stuff. Yeah, top 10 things. So I'll let you go. See you later. More videos coming up. Probably a pickups video, knowing me. But I haven't got a lot. But see you later.